We got wrestling flashbacks on this beautiful Friday, man. Um, Make sure y'all give me a thumbs up, man. I've been busy. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's why I've been pushing these videos out pretty slowly. But make sure y'all. What would y'all want me to react to next? I'm probably gonna put up a poll for tomorrow, which is Saturday, so y'all can, you know what I'm saying, let me know what y'all want me to react to. Let's go ahead and get into it, man.
Sometimes they go backstage and take out their anger, and on other occasions, they remember the incident so that they can dish out a receipt at a later date. In this video, we look back on 10 specific times a wrestler got legitimately mad at their opponent, kicking things off with what was a rare bad match between Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit, occurring at One Night Stand 2001. This was a far cry from the usual great encounters that the two had together. You can tell that they were both legit pissed off with each other, even before the bell. The crowd didn't help the match by directing chants at the Raw and SmackDown wrestlers who were watching from the crowd. 200 times in the United States, in Canada, in Japan. Eddie ended up suffering a busted nose. Blood is already flowing from his nose. And would then be slightly out of position for the crossface, which he ended up submitting from. Benoit and Eddie would continue to stare holes through each other after the match. You can even see Eddie mouth the words, "I owe you one." Eddie was reportedly not happy that he would be losing to Benoit because he felt the loss would hurt his momentum, and he was in the middle of a personal feud with Rey Mysterio on SmackDown. The match with Benoit would take place just 5 months before Eddie Guerrero would pass away, which may further explain Eddie's condition in the match, as it was during this time that Eddie would be usually seen hunched over in pain backstage before and after he wrestled. This wasn't the first time Eddie had been unhappy due to what happened in the ring.
I don't think I explained it one time. I think I said something about it, but for instance, WrestleMania, this past WrestleMania 40, when Seth Rollins was looking at his title, when they showed it, y'all go back and look at it. When it first came on, Seth Rollins was looking at it, you know he was gonna lose that motherfucker. You have to know, you have to be a real wrestling fan to know if they finna lose before that match. Like, you already, like, it, of course it's scripted already, but you already have to know, like, you have to be a wrestling fan for a long time to know that who's finna lose, who's finna win. Sometimes shit I don't be even knowing, but if it's a bet online, you never know. Like, you have to look out for certain context clues. Like, wrestling is a cinema. You have to pay attention to everything.
As just 9 months prior to the One Night Stand match, Guerrero would be beaten down by Kurt Angle's henchmen at the time, Mark Jindrak and Luther Reigns. Once Eddie got backstage, he would take his frustration out on Angle by saying how Kurt tried to hurt him, despite Angle barely having touched Eddie. This led to a backstage altercation, which Angle explained on his podcast.
Eddie was pissed. And he got in my face, and he's yelling, and he's spitting, so I pushed him. He tried to double leg me, and I got him in a front face lock and started choking him out, and Big Show broke it up. John Bradshaw Layfield goes to Eddie and says, "Why would you double leg an Olympic gold medalist?" And Eddie says, "Because I'm freaking stupid, that's why."
Just like Eddie would blow up backstage following his match, Big Show would do the same following a match with Chris Jericho on Raw in September 1999. Jericho would write in his second book that Show was so mad at Jericho.
I ain't never seen him match. I was born on 99, so I
just look at that execution. It must have definitely been way down on his list of 1004 holds. Show felt that the cruiserweights shouldn't be applying holds to a man of his size, and Jericho's bitch that before he applied the hold probably wouldn't have helped matters. Needless to say, Big Show was pissed and he wanted to kill Chris after the match. Show then threw stuff around backstage in anger and even punched out a car stereo. Show also threatened to pick Jericho up and use him.
Hey, didn't all this to make Team Jericho. If y'all don't know, now you know. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know this shit.
Direct result of Farouk's stiff boot. Ahmed would say he believed Farouk kicked him so hard on purpose, as he felt Farouk was jealous of his success. Farouk later admitted that it was in fact a receipt to teach Ahmed a lesson for being stiff with other wrestlers in the past. But that saga didn't end there, as 8 months later, Ahmed
they hated each other.
You got a receipt for it.
By delivering a stiff spinebuster to Farouk in a match, driving his head down, causing Farouk to break a couple ribs.
No, that's why I sent him back to the hospital. I gave him a spine buster and drove my head in his ribs and broke a couple of the ribs.
As we've seen so far, wrestlers can show their legit frustrations with their opponents in various different ways. And Shawn Michaels demonstrated this at the 1996 SummerSlam in his match with Vader. Shawn went to the top rope and was to attempt an elbow drop that Vader was supposed to dodge by moving out of the way. Vader, however, never moved as Shawn landed on his feet, and then he began to visibly berate Vader for forgetting the spot.
Never in my life that it happened. Everyone forgets spots, and even John forgets spots. Well, if you forget something, well, you do something else, then come back to it, right?
You have to realize
brought to tears
this
by
is a job
HBK,
too,
Vader's
though,
time
right?
got worse, as it became clear he was not going to become the company's next monster heel. Instead, at a pay-per-view, Vader was forced to refer to himself as a fat piece of shit by the writers.
I'm nothing but a big piece of shit. Big fat piece of shit.
And even Vince McMahon joined in, complaining about his employees' odor during a live AOL chat, for getting a spot and getting screamed.
And this is why I'm glad Mr. McMahon is like he ain't, you feel me? Wrestlers used to have to embarrass themselves if they fucked up on live TV, which is crazy. So I'm glad Triple H, you feel me? Triple H in charge. Now I ain't gonna lie to you. There been a couple times Triple H had to goddamn embarrass himself
This
too.
match is something Kofi
Even though he the son-in-law.
when he wrestled John Cena and Randy Orton in a triple threat match on Raw in
I remember
2010. Orton was to get the win after hitting Kingston with a punt kick, but Kofi failed to get in position for the move, which led to Orton winning with the
I don't think they ever worked.
Upon delivering the move, Orton was
They ain't never worked
stupid at Kofi as he
They
lay
ain't
on
never
the
worked
mat.
after that. Bro, recently they have, like, 10 minutes.
The error is supposedly what ended Kofi's push during this time. Kofi would get his own back on Orton 9 years later.
Yeah, see?
William Regal had just come back from a 7-week suspension in WCW. In the lead-up to his match on Nitro with a fresh-faced Goldberg, he claims that he was told by the agent to have a competitive 6-minute match. Goldberg, however, wasn't used to working these longer-length matches, so Regal maintains that he was just working around him and trying to get him to do stuff.
I don't hit him any harder than I hit anybody else.
Goldberg himself feels that Regal was particularly stiff with him and took advantage of him on national TV because he was green and would let the veterans do whatever they wanted with him.
How bad does that
Goldberg's crybaby.
He did. Just don't try to take advantage of me on national TV when I'm a piece of clay in your hands and I'll do anything you want. Let me know it's going to be a Japanese match so I can give you some back. Not so I can be led around by a guy who's going to kick me in the frickin' head when I'm sitting on my all fours.
Who do you believe? Let us know in the
Big
comments.
ass crybaby.
We have a celebrity entrant up next, as in 2006, the Jackass crew came into the WWE to promote their latest movie. It was scripted that Umaga would come in the ring and beat them down on an episode of Raw. Umaga delivered his usual shots as he would with any other wrestler, but things turned bad due to Steve-O's lack of awareness to sell the move properly. He would end up laughing at his co-star Chris Pontius, but Umaga felt disrespected because he wasn't selling his beatdown. Umaga came back in the ring to deliver a brutal splash from the top rope.
I don't know that I have to play dead, so I keep moving around. And he's not done beating me up.
Steve-O continued to move around instead of appearing knocked out, to which Umaga then beat Steve-O into a blackout.
And back then, they took that shit real serious. And to try that on Samoan is crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. Try to laugh at a Samoan is fucking diabolical.
Public Enemy spent 2 months in WWE in 1999 after their time in ECW, and their most notable appearance was losing a squash match to the Acolytes. They came in late that day, which in Bradshaw's eyes was a sign of disrespect, and further added to the animosity between the two teams due to Public Enemy's ties with WCW at the time. They then came up to Bradshaw just before he went out, telling him that they no longer wanted to do the spot with the table. This pissed off the Acolytes even more, and Ron Simmons basically said if they don't want to take the table, we'll take the table to them. They then went on to deliver a brutal beatdown.
Sometimes it has to get to that, and it's unfortunate, but it happens.
Beat the shit out of there. Oh my god.
Wasn't stiff then.
You could tell when shit real.
On this list is a receipt, but not the kind we're used to. You see, a traditional receipt occurs when a wrestler accidentally cracks his opponent.
New Jack didn't give a fuck. I'm
and
sorry.
They expect something as hard right back. But in this case, it's defined as if a wrestler inflicts brain damage upon their opponent and leaves them permanently blind in one eye. The opponent is therefore within their right to attempt to murder them. At Living Dangerously 2000, Vic Grimes, per New Jack's telling of the story, had to be dragged into executing the agreed upon stereo balcony dive spot, and he fell harder and faster right on top of Jack's cranium. New Jack missed a month of action, despite requiring far longer.
The wise man.
The receipt took place after New Jack and Grimes had already cooperated through a match at Hardcore Heaven later that year. A couple years later, at XPW3,
it just be diabolical how they let them do that. Like how they let them like climb that damn far up. Kind of diabolical. I ain't gonna lie to you.
to compete in a match where New Jack missed a fairly obvious target, that being about 100 tables, and sent Grimes directly onto the apron from about 40 feet.
I wanted him to hit the floor. I just didn't throw him hard enough. I was trying to throw his ass to the floor.
Hey, New Jack was fucking diabolical. I'm sorry. He was fucking crazy.
Absolutely ridiculous. So there you have it, folks. 10 times a wrestler got legitimately angry.
I ain't gonna lie, New Jack was fucking crazy. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. That being said, see when I see y'all, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm gonna put up a poll, man. What y'all want me to do after this video? Probably gonna do it now. So when I get ready to do the video tomorrow, y'all already know what I'm gonna react to. So see you when I see you. That's right.